I was wandering with no aim when I found this busted OL sign, Hollow Gorge. Didn't look like no town I'd want a vacation in. Not a soul in sight, just bones and a silence that felt too loud. Something was wrong here, real wrong. Place looked like folks left in a real hurry. Drinks still sweating on tables, cards mid-hand. That piano, it played a single note, all by itself. I ain't never believed in ghosts, but that night, I felt every hair on my scaly back stand up. Creak, creak. Each step I took was answered by another I didn't make. I followed them prints, wet, heavy to a dead wall, no door, no hole, just a solid plank. But those prints, they stopped right there, like something just vanished. I wiped the grime from that mirror just to see myself again. But what I saw wasn't me. It was off. Taller, wrong, moving like smoke. I turned fast, faster than I ever did. But the room behind me was empty. The mirror, still fogged by breath. Rango, it whispered. Real soft, like a lover's hiss. I pressed my ear to the wall. Maybe someone trapped. But then it came. A scream so loud, so sharp, it shook my skull. That wasn't no voice of the livin'. That was Hollow Gorge talking back. A chair in the corner rocked like an old ghost still waiting for his drink. Nobody pushed it. Wind couldn't reach it. But it rocked. Then when I got too close, it stopped. Like whatever was sitting there had seen enough. I peeked through that dusty window and saw a face across the way. Not just any face. Big black eyes, smiling too wide. Then blink, gone, like it never was. But I knew something had just marked me. That bell tolled 3 times. I counted, echoes long as sin. But the church empty, ain't no rope, ain't no priest, just dust and bones and pews. That bell tolled for me, and I think Hollow Gorge knew I was listening. Behind that locked door were coffins, small ones, row after row, no names, just silence. A silence that stung like guilt. I don't know what happened here, but it wasn't mercy. The shadows, they moved, not like shadows oughta. They crawled like snakes with no sound. One brushed my boot, and it was cold, real cold, like the absence of God. Fog came in too fast, too thick. But the worst part, it spoke. Voices I didn't know, calling me, begging me, threatening me. I ran, but that fog didn't just follow, it chased. Why would a sheriff be buried outside his own graveyard? I dug to find out. Badge still on his chest, hole in his skull. Someone didn't want the law on Hollow Gorge. And now I was wearing his boots. Old painting of a woman in the hotel lobby or pretty thing. But her eyes, they weren't painting's eyes. They followed. Then her mouth curved, a smile that wasn't meant for comfort. That thing on the canvas, it was alive. The cross bled, dark and thick, like it held the town's sins in its grain. But the blood, it moved the wrong way, climbed the altar stairs like it had somewhere to be, and maybe someone to feed. Voices sang, soft as dust. I climbed up to see, and there they were, figures with no flesh, mouths moving in silence, eyes burning like coals, praising a God that had long stopped listening. The well was bone dry, not a drop for miles. So what made the splash? I leaned over. Then it came, a hand, dead, white, crawling up like it remembered breath. I ran before the rest of it followed. In that old house, I saw something no one should see, a child, faceless, crying. No eyes, just darkness. I didn't move. I couldn't, because I knew deep down, that child hadn't been alone. That clock ticked the wrong way, and with every talk, the room twisted, my breath reversed. The door opened, and I saw myself just stepping in, like time wanted me to start over and never leave. That rope danced in the air like it remembered pain. Then it snapped tight. Nothing there, but it still hung. Whatever Hollow Gorge killed, it never stopped hanging. You're not the first, that's what it said. Cold chalk, freshly written. Then a tiny hand just brushed blood across it like punctuation. I didn't want to know who came before. I feared they never left. They moved like spiders, but slower, and they made no sound. Black shapes slid across the ceiling above me. I didn't breathe. I didn't blink. One dropped a single drop of spit on my shoulder, cold as death. The room wasn't still. It breathed, slow, heavy inhales, like the walls themselves were alive, watching me. And I knew if I stayed too long, that room would exhale, and I'd be gone. It formed from dust, shaped like me, but its mouth opened, and my own voice came out. It called me by name. I stood there facing myself, hollow, dry, and cursed. Inside that flame were faces, hundreds of them, moaning, pleading, screaming words I couldn't quite understand, or maybe didn't want to. They were trapped, all of them, and the lantern was hungry. Every door I opened brought me back. Same dust, same wind, same footsteps. Like the town itself was a trap, built in circles, feeding on fear. Hollow Gorge had no time, only hunger. I found it. My grave. My name carved clean, dirt still fresh, no date of death. Just a space, waiting. Hollow Gorge don't kill you fast. It buries your spirit first. It was me, but it wasn't. The mirror showed a Rango that didn't blink when I did. It smiled wider, meaner, and it whispered, soon. That thing wasn't my reflection. It was my replacement. The town spoke, not with a mouth, but with wood groans, wind, and whispers. One voice, one hunger. It didn't want me dead. It wanted me hollow, just like it. The red door pulsed like it was alive. I didn't know what waited behind it, but I knew it was either out or in forever. Hollow Gorge had one last trick to play, and I had no bullets left. I woke up out of town, same place I came in, but I was whistling, a tune I didn't know. My lips weren't moving. Hollow Gorge let me go, but left a piece of itself inside. And someday, it'll whistle me back,